well in advance of a 2-week deadline. So, thank you.
I guess somebody needs to explain to me how I could possibly do that when we just received it at the end of last week to begin with. If this isn't as quickly as we could bring it to you, it's not our grant application, it's the county's grant application. If they were deficient in getting it in time,
Sure.
it doesn't change the fact that they've got a deadline for it. I am not going to not bring to you requests from other jurisdictions within our area that are asking for our cooperation.
I'm just saying for future consideration on grants and so forth, not even necessarily this one, you'd explain why this one is the way it is, but I'm saying we have had consistently at least 3 or 4 of these grants come up with our deadlines at 2 weeks out.
Which
And so-
ones are those? This is the first one I've known of that we're on a deadline.
The LED, the issue came to us and we had to make a decision then. The sustainability cooperation in regards to the, whether or not to have a cooperative employee, full-time employee hired with a grant. That one came before us with about 2 weeks. I'm sure if I went back, we could match them up as well. It's just something I've been seeing. I just, for future consideration, please give us more time than 2 weeks.
We certainly intend to give you all the time we could possibly give you. Molly?
Well, I did just spend like 5 minutes, and I just pulled the title off the HUD website. It didn't take very long, just because I wanted a little additional information before the meeting. So this was just essentially posted on June 23rd. And I would have to make an assumption that that was, at that point, they got their funding and had the money in the bank to do that, which is the reason that it's probably such a short turnaround time. Frankly, I would certainly vote in favor of this. I do understand the concerns that a number of the council members have, but I think this will help us if the grant is received, and money, is actually awarded to Clark County. We'll benefit as well as Clark County, and it's something that has to be done anyway.
I would just say that there's actually an advantage in the short fuse here. If the short fuse, if this only became available nationally on June 23rd, that means that it's going to be very hard for other people to compete. And that we have, by jumping in, we have a much better chance than we would if there'd been 9 months of notice on this.
Mm-hmm.
Other comments, questions? Okay. Chief Schumacher. Fire consolidation.
What I got here is an organizational chart. This is a rough draft of what Chief Leon and I have been working on as far as consolidation. It's pretty much a personnel issue here. We took our combined departments, it comes out to 53.5 FTEs. If you look at it, it will show 3 shifts on the bottom, an A, B, and a C shift. It's a 3-platoon system with 15 firefighters assigned each shift. And then above it, we have management, and then off to the right is the volunteer association. So this is kind of, just want to show you what progress that Chief Leon and I have been working on as far as the organizational structure of the proposed department. Things that are dashed, there are 2 unfilled positions currently. All the other solid ones are filled outside of the volunteers. And that's what we're kind of looking at, is if we were to merge, we could probably fill those 2 positions. Questions at all? Yes.
The staffing numbers, these are present.
All the solid boxes are present, or what will be funded. Chief Leon, if you want to correct me on this, what will be funded come January 1st, correct?
Yes, our workshop last week, the council approved 42 and a half employees. I'm currently budgeted at 45 and a half. I've got 43 with 2 vacancies. I'll reduce it by 1 by the beginning of next year, so I'll be at 42 and a half. Those 2 vacant positions are not new employees, just reorganize the staffing to fill those spots, so we're not adding to the budget or anything, anybody's budget.
Dave, do you want to bring us up to speed on where we are in the discussions themselves?
You'll recall that we undertook a conversation with the city of Camas about the possibility of consolidating services or otherwise enhancing the relationship to try to enhance the level of service to the two communities and leverage our respective departments. Put an ad hoc committee together that includes 2 council members from each city, the chiefs, administrators, and human resources staff. We met twice and have begun to kick the tires, if you would, on what things could look like. This is intended to be kind of an update for you on where we're at. We have looked at tentative staffing scheme, which is what the chief has just shared. We've looked at issues around consolidating 2 work groups that are represented under 2 different contracts, although they're in the same union, and what some of the issues there would be, and had general conversation about the notion of consolidation. We're at a stage now where it's time to take the next steps and to be more concerted and more serious in our effort if we are going to indeed pursue this, where we need to start crunching the numbers more deliberately to see exactly what it would take to put something like this together. Could we do that within the existing resources that we have collectively? And what kind of economies of scale would allow us to basically cover some areas in terms of staff level in the fire services that neither community feels is being adequately staffed at the time. And really what is reflected in this chart is an enhancement to service in the community by the addition of some staff level functionality in a consolidated department, however the mechanics of that consolidation would occur. The next step really for the group is to engage the services of an expert in this area that has looked at consolidations and engage them in a pretty limited and very focused analysis for us, kind of third-party look, if you would, so that we can discern from the data that we would get in that yes, this would make sense financially for the city of Washougal. Camas is looking at it, makes sense financially for the city of Camas, and that we would have better services in the community if we were to move in this direction, or for some other finding to come out of the data with the expert review. Also, it gives another set of eyes looking at this organizational approach, which both chiefs expressed would be desirable to have someone else taking a look at their notion here and their thoughts. So we are kind of looking informally here for any questions or comments that you have, not necessarily the details of this chart or exactly how a deployment might occur, but your comfort level as a council with us moving forward to scope out what that more precise analysis would be, kind of a limited scope, hopefully very limited cost, but cost nonetheless, which we would then bring back. The city of Camas will be taking a look at this in a work session next week. So Lloyd will be, and the chief will be presenting information to your counterparts in Camas to try to get the same feel